Hey guys, today we're going to be checking out dashboards related to the THORChain ecosystem. There's a lot to get through, so let's get started. So we're going to start with THORChain.net, the dashboard. This is the one we usually start our videos with here. There is a lot of cool information on this thing. So first, it gives you all the analytics, the swap volume, all this stuff. You can go and check out all these things right here. If you scroll down, you can see current streaming swaps happen. Ongoing. There's a lot of information on here, right? Value locked. There's so much analytic data right here. You can see latest blocks, what's going on, the burn, the dev, all the income right here. Super, super cool. One thing I really like to do to see the state of the network, and again, you can check out these tabs, is to click on nodes right here. If you go click on nodes, one thing I like to see is look at the individual nodes themselves and seeing what is the health of these nodes. And when I mean individual nodes, you got them all listed here, guys. But this is kind of an overwhelming, site. Like it's just too much information. What you can do is you see this right here. These are all actually clickable. So if you go right here, you click it again, and you'll see here the nodes that are scheduled to be churned out. There's various reasons why. So this little sad face is high slashes. So this is poor performance. This actually node it requested to leave. The reason why this happened, this particular node, is they were making an update and some things went wonky. So they requested to leave so they can get their stuff fixed. This happens. This is total normal operation stuff. And you can see their slashes right here, right? And they're not losing money. They're just not getting rewards. And the slash rewards, they get redistributed to other node operators. And then we have the lowest bond. So there's three parameters: lowest bond, poor performance, and age, right? And so we have the lowest bond here there, and they can actually have a bond war, right? Where they can try to stick in. So if you actually click rewards, or I'm sorry, bond size here, same thing. You can go from biggest to smallest bonds right here, right? So this is the smallest bond. They could add like 10,000 rune to their bond, and they can, bond war. They can try and stay in. So that's something we see actually a lot. So that's pretty interesting. Another thing here that I think is interesting, if you go click the node, the operator tab here, click it again, you'll actually get to see the node operators that use the same operator key. I'm going to explain this for a second. Now, this may look like something that's really centralized. Like, yeah, you have a lot of nodes that share the same operator key. So it's either the same individual or institution. But this is actually a good thing, because when you share the same node operator key, that's actually a sign of good faith, because they're saying, hey, this is all my nodes. And when you have the same node operator key for multiple nodes, you actually can't steal anything from the network. So for those who are wondering, it's kind of a technical explanation I don't have time to get into, but it's actually a really good thing that they do that. It's a sign of good faith. And you go down there, there's a lot of node operators that have multiple nodes as well. So very cool site, guys. Lots of information. We're going to move on. This is more of like a technical dashboard. This is the dashboard.9realms.com. Again, this is a little high level stuff here, but if for a quick glance at the overall state of the network, this is what this is. And you can just quickly, for dev purposes, they look at this and can determine a lot of things. Something cool right here is the blocks till the next churn. For those who don't know, THORChain has block about once every 6 seconds. And that's how time actually passes. It's not by, actual time. Like, this is an estimate of how much. So approximately every 6 seconds, we have a block. And the block height is how we determine certain updates, or like when we're going to add a new chain or whatever it is. And then that's how we determine, like, node operators in the general community, of like when things are actually going to happen. It's that block height itself, not necessarily a countdown of time, because it has to be estimated, because the individual block times can be a little uncertain. So pretty cool, technical, but interesting nonetheless. We're going to move on here. We have the THORChain tracker. This one's really cool. This is like the website isitdown.com, where you can know websites go down. This is like a really quick way to check the health of the network. And I'm actually kind of glad ETH is having a little buggy today with the scanner. So I'm kind of glad for the video it's in there so you can see what it looks like. This goes on and off throughout the day. But that's what it looks like if there is some sort of issue. So it's really helpful and intuitive way to look. And then you can also see, like, various information similar to the other thing here. What's really cool about the tracker is if you make a swap on THORChain, you can put in the transaction hash and you can see exactly what happened. So I'm going to put in a transaction hash for a swap that happened recently. It was a pretty big one. We're going to click track here. And this is about a $4 million swap. It was a 50 BTC to Ethereum swap. Pretty cool. And so THORChain can handle really high volume. So we've actually had swaps much bigger than this. But then you can look at all like the various features of the swap, right? Like how it's aged. This is a really cool one right here that if you click the swap button, this is a streaming swap. And what that means is you take a big swap and you break it up into multiple little swaps. And that's really good for price execution because arbitrageurs rebalance the pools between each sub swap. And so you see one block per swap. So every block is swaps happening. And then you can see the amount of swaps it took, 648. And then this is the liquidity fee that THORChain itself got. There's more liquidity fees. So this was made by the API aggregator SwapKit. The interface was THORSwap. I know that's confusing. Sorry. And then THORChain on the back end did the swap. So pretty cool. THORChain is basically infrastructure that runs behind many different interfaces and API aggregators. Let's move on here. This one is Analytics Central. Okay, guys, so you can see right from here the swap volume. You can zoom in, play with it, check it all out, right? The whole history of THORChain is readily at your fingertips, and that is just the beginning. I mean, they have so much information on here, guys. They have, if you have these drop-down menus here, and again, this is going to feel a little overwhelming, but I'll help you simplify it in just a second. But you can see that, addresses, new address, active addresses, trade assets, secured, balances, module, Rune, dev fund, all this stuff. If you go to the search function up here, if you want to find something in particular, let's just type in bond. And we go to total value bonded here, right? And then you can see the total history of the bonded amount of Rune inside the system. Again, the entire history. So let's zoom all the way out. This is by the day. So this is when THORChain started. Our genesis, April 10th, 2021. We were born. We had, I think it's 600,000 measly Rune. Yeah, 600,000 measly Rune. And then just the most unbelievable learning curve that we've ever gone through. Just all this section right here, pain and suffering, figuring out cross-chain swaps. The first one to do it, it was an unbelievable journey. But then we figured it out. We really started to scale, and we've been scaling ever since. In fact, we are about all-time highs when it comes to our total bonded here. This little drop-off was it was a THORFi incident. And then so we had a little bit of a drop-off there. We came back up. And then I think this moment was the Bond Your Rune campaign, and we had a huge explosion of bond, and then we've been doing ever since. So THORChain has really never been healthier, and we're only getting better by increasing the decentralization of the network. Let's move on again, guys. Rune.tools. This is such a cool place. So this is like a bunch of widgets, okay? We're only going to click 3, but you can take a glance here. There's so many things to check out here. But let's click the supply tracker here. And this tells you the supply of THORChain Rune in real time. See this little circle thing right here? That is showing it. So we had 0.26 Rune being burned. Every 6 seconds, Rune is burned in the network. So 0.02. If you click this up here, you can actually go to the dollar amount. And of course, this is pegged to the amount that Rune is. So if Rune were to go up a lot, these values would be wildly different, but it's still interesting nonetheless. But we'll go back to the nominal version of Rune here. And you can see, 5% of all system is burned, the max supply, which is always going down, right? With the burn Rune, circulating supply, then you can see distribution here. Pretty freaking cool, guys. Let's go back. Let's check out the Solana providers here. This is a new chain that's going to be starting very soon. We had this in another video where it shows the distribution of RPC providers because Solana is so computationally, impressive to run. We're building an RPC decentralized network, and we're almost there, guys. We need 4 more votes. So really cool information like this that can be seen. We'll go back again. Let's check out the bond tracker here. This is pretty cool. If you're a node operator or BP, you can use this to track your own position. Really love this. If you actually click this button up here, it'll give you a random bond, and you can check it out here. Okay, so that's a 0 here. We're going to refresh and go back. We'll try that again. So that's someone who's whitelisted, but they haven't deposited their bond yet. We got to join. Shoot. I'm going to give it a couple more tries here. Usually it gives me a good value. Okay, here we go. This is a small bond, by the way. This is 100 Rune right here. And so you can see their how much they've earned here. I'm getting a little unlucky. I'm going to give it 2 more tries. Another 2 more tries here. Give me something here. There we go. So we have a bond here size. This is 53,000 Rune. You can see the APY here, right? what they're expected to get the next reward for their churn cycle. And also, this is a BP and a node operator, right? So this is the fee that the node operator charges. There's an estimate time for the next churn, right? And this is why it's important to use multiple multiple dashboards, excuse me, because, you know, API and endpoints, data endpoints, they can be a little wonky sometimes. So it's good to corroborate different data, you know, because this is a really technical and complex environment. But this is really, really cool. And so you can kind of get the gist if you're interested in bond your own, like how much you can expect to earn and what it is. And this APY not only is relative to the fee, but it's also the performance of the node himself. So like how we said in the very beginning, that one node operator had a lot of slashes. If this BP was in that node, this API would probably be far, far less, right? Let's move on, guys. We got Xscanner here, xscanner.org. So this is like a real zoomed out dashboard here where you can see like protocols like THORChain, my protocol, right? You see various stats. Like this is really cool. I like this one. User stickiness. So like AsgardX and Rujira. Rujira is the app layer on THORChain for those who don't know. Like this really have really good metrics on user stickiness, market share for the swap volume, right? Really, really cool. You know, how many Lambos these various people have made. That's pretty funny. I like that one. So this is a really cool zoomed out dashboard if you want that kind of view. Let's move on here to Ray Analytics. I really, really like this one too. Again, a lot of the same information, so I'm not going to duplicate things, but every dashboard has their own unique quirks that I really like. So let's go to the analytics here, and we'll go down to THORChain right here. And it's going to give you the swap volume. And yes, this is kind of similar to what we've seen before, right? But one thing I really like, click on the on-chain activity here. This is a really cool visualization. You can see the Bitcoin to Ethereum, like where all these volumes are going, right? So Bitcoin to WBTC, right? That's one of the biggest ones. Bitcoin to Ethereum, Ethereum to Bitcoin, right? Check this out, WBTC to Bitcoin. This is something with the app layer too that I think we're going to see a big change, because when we have the app layer, you can deposit your Bitcoin on THORChain, get your own wrap version that's actually, you know, the custody is decentralized, unlike maybe a centralized player like WBTC, right? And so the app layer is going to be really cool to see if that behavior changes. And then, you know, USDC as well, like we're going to have a Bitcoin-backed stablecoin as well. So we'll be interesting to see if this changes in the future. So pretty cool, guys. And then maybe we'll go to affiliate fees. Check this out. So if you click the affiliate fees here, this is like all of our partners here, and it's really extensive, right? You got SwapKit, THORSwap, Multisig, you got DeFi Spot, BitGet, Rujira, GemWallet, Symbiosis, Leodex, Cacao Swap, Mocha, all these big ones here, right? Anything you can imagine is on here. If you're looking, though, for the official affiliate of THORChain, the official interface of THORChain, swap.thorchain.org, it's not going to be on this list because it does not charge an affiliate fee. So we'll go ahead and go to runescan.io now, and this is a really cool site as well. And THORChain actually, swap.thorchain.org is on top today, so pretty cool. And this is a really competitive environment. It just shows you the top affiliates, and SwapKit is very often on top as well. But you can see, you know, STO, that's what that stands for: SwapKit, THORSwap, Trust, all these guys right here. Pretty cool. Everyone's making money and partners. You can see the burned rune here. So a lot of duplicate information. One thing I really like about this one here is you can actually check out the vaults. So if you go over here and click vaults, it actually gives you the amount, the addresses of the vaults and all of the assets in them. So if you click all coins here, right, boom, it gives you everything that is in there. So between all of these dashboards and analytic tools, you can really get a sense of what is going on in the network at any time. Very cool stuff, guys. Let's move on here. I got a new one to show you. Actually, I just learned about this one. This is for node operators specifically here. This is from the Liquidity guys. Pretty cool. They're building this dashboard to give node operators a lot of tooling and a lot of customization here. In fact, I just got a message from them. I'm going to read it here for you. They say they're working on a new ADR to add delegated permission for sub-node operator addresses, so you can delegate specific node operator abilities to sub-accounts like whitelisting, leave requests, and so on. And once that's live, that'll be in the new node management tools, that system. So this is really cool, you guys. These guys are going to be building something to just make the lives of node operators easier, because node operators have a very technical job. And again, you can check out all of these different analytics in here. If you are a node operator, I highly recommend coming to thornode.network. Click contact. Get involved with these guys. Reach out. This is definitely some tooling that I think you'll really enjoy. We're going to switch gears here, guys. We're going to talk about Rujira now, the app layer on THORChain. The app layer is basically an entire DeFi suite. It's a huge 0 to 1 where basically all information is on chain. It is permissionless, no KYC. It is the true DeFi experience we have been trying to build for the entire history of blockchain tech. It's unbelievable. Check this out, you guys. So definitely remember these. Remember this right here, you guys. The Rujira price, the market cap. It is early 2026 here. Let's close that out real quick. Very, very interesting analytics here. Again, not many primitives are going to be online yet. Okay, we got lending, order book, perps, staking, pools. So many things are going to be coming, you guys. This is the very beginning. Right now, we just have lending alive, and then a perps V2 version is going to be happening. The V1 version of perp was not doing too well, so they're going to deprecate that. They have a much better V2 version coming, so expect that very soon. If we go to the staking button here, this is pretty cool. It breaks down the rewards so far. So again, not much is happening on the app layer, but we already have rewards for pretty much almost no activity. So we got about $38,000 in rewards here. It definitely gonna be excited to see what this is going to be in 2027. And you can see the percentages of the allocation here. So if you're a Rujira staker, right, this is rewards that are going to be delivered to them at some point in the future. And then you can see also Rune, TCY, a lot of cool things to check. You can stake now if you want. Very, very cool. Definitely check out this dashboard, you guys. And we're going to end on the THORChain interface, the official one, swap.thorchain.org. Pretty cool, guys. If you want to check out what THORChain is about, experience a DeFi swap for the first time, go to swap.thorchain.org. And it's so cool. Like we have one Bitcoin swap here. You can make a swap with THORChain and you don't have to connect your wallet. This is what we call a memoless swap. And we made a whole video explaining how this works. We'll have the link in the description down below if you want to check that out. But if you want to connect your wallet as well, we've got all kinds of options for you to explore, all kinds of real layer ones. And again, guys, no KYC, permissionless, real layer one for real layer one. This is not a bridge in the conventional sense, right? This is like THORChain runs actual daemons of each chain. And so this is the real deal. This is what we've been trying so hard to build, and we have built it, and it's running great, guys. If you have any suggestions or, quality of life features or anything you want to talk about, there's an email down here, contact@thorchain.org. You can have important, maybe find a bug or something you report there, but it's been running pretty good. The site's technically still in beta, but it has been running very, very well. And that's going to conclude this episode, you guys. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be having all kinds of videos coming out soon describing more about the THORChain and Rujira ecosystem. So thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.